Well, where is your cookie jar? We feel demotivated in life. We feel down. Sometimes we feel everything is wrong and we feel depressed. What I'm going to share in today's video is going to help yourself lift off every time you feel down, and this technique is so damn effective, and this will help you come out every time you fall down to get up like a champion. So today we're talking about the cookie jar concept, which came from an amazing man called David Goggins, who went on to get multiple world records and completing the most difficult marathons and military trainings in the world. Also, he is widely regarded as the toughest man on the planet right now. Now, this concept is super interesting, but even more interesting is the person behind it. Just in 3 days of prior knowledge, Goggins had to run a 100-mile race for selection for a mega marathon, and he hadn't ran more than a mile in 6 months. So 100 miles is equal to 4 to 5 full marathons non-stop. So he got on the line and started the race. In 25 miles, he felt tired. In 50 miles, he was exhausted. By the time he reached the 70 miles mark, he had multiple fractures in his toes and had blood in his urine. He was barely being able to stand, and that's when he used the cookie jar concept to fight through to complete the race, which was literally next to impossible. Now, I'm sure like Goggins, you wouldn't have to run 100 miles for something. But in life, we have situations when we are just close to a goal and we feel down or demotivated and we feel everything sucks. Not like the fracture, but something else that's subjective to you. Sometimes our exams go really bad, or sometimes it's a friend who cheats on us. Sometimes a business has an unexpected change like the COVID, or sometimes it's we who are feeling it hard, and sometimes it's we saying ourselves that we can't do something, and that's when you can use the cookie jar concept. Well, talked a lot. So what is the cookie jar, Vaibhav? Let's keep it simple. I want you to look back to your life and run a search operation to find moments in your life that were super hard, yet you endured them. It could be a super hard exam, a difficult game in cricket which you won. It could be any situation that was super tough and you went through it. It could be a time that you had in a hostel or a school or whatever that is. Now, this is the cookie that we are talking about for your cookie jar. Every time you feel down, you take the cookie from inside, eat it through, and remind yourself of how big of a champion you are, and get back to work. Let me share you my cookie jar. In 2019, I thought of doing something that was never done before. The biggest principal summit in the history of province. With 125 plus principals from all over the province. Now, just imagine. Now, I was 17 then. Convincing principals to come long distances to the conference, convincing the 4-star hotel that I'll be able to pay, and very challenging to get sponsorship of lakhs of rupees from companies to a 17-year-old kid whom they had never heard of before. Believe me, it got me nuts. Plus, I had exams, my board exams coming in just a few days from then. Board exams. Now, some school organizations promised to bring principals for the program. I had to look for the sponsors, and some sponsors promised that they'd help. But a week before the event, I had less than 30 principals confirmed, sponsors less than the cost of food in the 4-star hotel, and I was almost fighting alone. I didn't have much of a team. I could have easily given up saying at least I tried, but that time I did it. After postponing the event for a week, we did the largest principal summit in the history of province, and it feels amazing. Within that week period, I know what I did. I couldn't eat food because I was so scared. I worked day and night. In the night to get the sponsors and write emails. In the day traveling to schools all over the province to requesting principals to come, and then get back to work. And so I keep this letter all the time in my desk. This is a letter I give to the principals in the program to remind myself of how big of a champion I am. Now, I'm sure you might have a different memory for yourself. Whenever I feel down or any failure comes up, I take this paper and remind myself, that if I could do that, I can do this too. That's my cookie to get me back to my champion mood. Now I want you to look back to a few things in your life that seemed impossible, but you did it. Keep a memory or a small memoir with which you can remind yourself when you are stuck, when you are down, defeated, and pick up yourself through that cookie in the cookie jar and get yourself back to work. You can have many of the cookies in the same journey in the same way. So this is what I want you to do. In the comments, I want you to share what is your cookie so that other people can watch it and get inspired too. And also, sharing cookies is never a bad idea, right? Go to the comment section and write as long as you want. I'm definitely going to read it. And also share this video because you never know, this single video could help someone who really needs to know this.